My name's Brook Galna, and by the accent you can probably tell I'm a southerner. I hope you can forgive me for that. So today I'm not actually going to be doing much with the slides. What I am going to be talking about though is some novel ways of increasing your activity. Now I also have a confession to make. This research that I'm going to show you is from the Human Movement Science Lab here at Newcastle University, led by Professor Lynn Rochester, but it's first started with Parkinson's disease. And this is an exemplar of a case where we took exercise computer games. Exergaming we call it, because we're lazy, we don't like all those other syllables. So we took this exergaming and we applied it to Parkinson's. Because what we found when we talked to people with Parkinson's is exercise is there, exercise is effective. But if you just take generic exercise programs that might be part of let's say, as before, Thomas Jones, very fit, he'll be doing something different to what somebody with Parkinson's will be doing. You need to be very specific and individualize your programs. Commercial computer games weren't offering that. So what we did was we designed an exercise-based game for people with Parkinson's. Why would we need a computer game to help us exercise though? Well, like pharmacological interventions, if you don't take your pills, it won't work. If you don't exercise, it won't be effective. One of the big barriers for exercise, not just in the general population, but also in people with neurological disorders and neuromuscular disorders, motivation. How do you make it more motivating? When it's cold and wet and rainy outside, it's very hard to be motivated to go for a walk, to go for a run, to get out. It would be great if you could do something in the home. Exercise gaming can let you do that. You also want something specific, something that a physiotherapist has shown you to do. Now, I want you to do these stretches 10 times a day, and you might last a few days. You go back, have you been doing your exercises? No. Wouldn't it be good if you could have a physiotherapist there, motivating you to do your exercises and also telling you, oh, hang on, no, you're doing it wrong. I want you to reach a little bit higher, no, a little bit further out, continually challenging you. As you were saying before, you need tiny progressions. Wouldn't it be great if you could have a physiotherapist there at home? Well, we can't quite do that with exercise computer games, but what we can do is we can allow you to have a device that can see you, can see the quality of your movement and feed back to you. It can motivate you, and it can do it in an immersive way that can make it more entertaining. So what I'm going to show you now are two things. One is I'm going to hopefully not completely ruin the technology side of things here. I'm going to swap to another computer, and I'm going to show you the guts, if you want, of the Microsoft Kinect. It's a type of sensor used for exercise games as well as a lot of other applications. And it's going to be the eyes of our virtual physiotherapist. So let me show you. Fingers crossed. Ah, magic. It works. So Jane, if you'd like us to wave. So, what we have here is a normal video camera of Jane, the eyes. But to a computer, that doesn't mean very much. It needs something a little bit more simplistic. So, what I'd like Jane to do is if you just wave, what you can see is there's a stick figure here of Jane. And what this means is we can use this information to tell the computer, oh, you're reaching up here or you're going there. Or, oh no, I really shouldn't have done that. It can see these things. It can tell you, oh, hang on, you're doing that quite slowly. We'd like you to speed up. Or just slow down a bit. It seems that you're exerting yourself. So that's the background. That's the guts. That's what it's seeing. But now we're going to go to the next part, and that is we're going to make this a little bit of a game. So I'm just going to load the next part. Once again, fingers crossed. Now this game is called Scrump. I didn't know what scrumping was until I came to the country. Seems something actually that a convict would do, stealing apples. So, the idea is we're going, as far as Jane is going to be a farmer on a tractor. And this actually came out of our design workshop with people with Parkinson's when we asked, what sort of ideas would you like? They wanted something outdoors. And so you'll find it is virtual reality, so it's not raining. And what Jane is going to be asked to do is to reach with her arms. She's going to have to pick apples with her left hand, pears which are yellow with her right hand, all while on a tractor and trying to drive it. She's going to drive by taking big steps, left or right, to avoid poor little lambs on the road. Hopefully no lambs will be hurt in the making of this presentation. So, did you get all of that?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm actually going to move this slightly to the side. So, Jane, the splash screen is going to come up. You'll be able to look at it here. Now, I need you to keep one foot on the go button at all times. You'll see what I mean. Okay. So, you're there. Now, you can step sideways to move the tractor if you want. So, if you want to step left. So, remember on the go button at all times. Good, good. Now step left, a bit further. So see, it can tell you that you're being slack. Now back into the centre. Good. Now reach up for those bits of fruit. There we go. So whilst Jane's making fruit salad, I'll explain. And like all exercise, you're smiling. When was the last time you smiled when you had to do 10 exercises like this? Oh! That one's rosemary, that one's minty. Now, so what we designed is a game where people with Parkinson's had to make big steps left and right. We did this because disease-specific intervention, small, underscaled size motion, is a problem. So we wanted to make big movements, like Jane is doing that. Good. Oh, it's okay. And another thing we wanted to do was to get people with Parkinson's reaching out outside of their base of support, because balance is a problem. So, we've got this game. It also divides attention, because in the real world, you're not just walking, you're not just doing one thing at a time, you're doing a lot of things. So we're training people while they're concentrating on doing something else, like not running over sheep.
You haven't killed any yet.
They're just sleeping. It's okay. So this is a project that we took with a small grant from a charity body, Parkinson's UK, and we developed this in a collaboration with the Human Movement Science team along with the Culture Lab here at Newcastle University. We asked people with Parkinson's what were their daily uses of technology. We asked them what sort of games they played. We actually gave them a go at different types of gaming systems, and this was the most appropriate for them because they didn't have to step on any platforms and they didn't have to hold any controllers, which might be a problem if you're shaking. We asked them to come in and to try out this game, to tell us what they thought about it. Yes, you have to keep going. You should always do your exercise, Jane. And we're almost there. So, they liked it. They could play it. We tested to make sure it was safe. And then what we did was we did some more development, some iteration, and then we tested out on some more people. Now what we want to do is see if this is effective in improving performance, if it's safe in the home. Well done, John. Thank you. Now this is an example of a new technology that wouldn't have been around or thought of 20 or 30 years ago that can help us improve our activity, increase our activity levels when it's cold and damp outside or when we need input onto the quality of our movement, but the physiotherapist can't be there all the time. Now, this is not to say this is going to do away with physios. You're okay, Jane. Rather, this is another tool that we can augment the training. So instead of just saying, here's an exercise bike, here's resistance training, what about training balance? What about training coordination? Well, this is just another tool for physiotherapists and other clinicians to use. It's not specifically this game, but games can be developed which are specific for different populations. So this is just an example. I hope it's given you some ideas, and thank you very much for listening.